Today we get to talk about sex and drugs, cosmic mystery, and literary creativity, death and immortality. I suppose I should tone that down a bit and say that what we're really talking about are four strands of aristocratic culture that emerged in the aftermath of the breakup of the Han Dynasty and the movement of great clans from the north to the south. Let me digress very briefly and make a parallel between Roman civilization and the collapse of Han civilization. China, as the Mediterranean world, was hit by barbarian foreign invasion. People who were not members, did not participate in the civilized culture of the imperial center. As the ideology of empire became less and less relevant, we see the rise of new religious movements. In the West, this was Christianity. In China, it will be a variety of movements, and eventually, the most important of all, Buddhism. As the imperial elite disintegrated and factionalized, we see the rise of a feudal aristocracy in Europe. We see the rise of something similar in China. But here we have to make a distinction between North and South. The North is invaded by tribal peoples, people who did not speak Chinese, did not read Chinese, did not write Chinese. And there were various tribes, and they soon were fighting with each other and factionalizing even within a single tribe. But they were organized around tribes. And what we see happening in the Chinese population is that the elite is organized around great clans, around clans that see themselves as the bearers of political power or responsibility, the right to criticize and to participate in government. And as the North is invaded, the great Chinese clans move south and establish themselves there. And even though in the South one dynasty follows another, as you've seen in the historical overview, these clans would remain and provide a certain amount of continuity. I'm interested in the kind of cultural endeavors they were part of, the kinds of things they did, culturally speaking, because they had a lasting impact on China and East Asia. But at the same time, they were not conducive to centralization and the restoration of empire. In the late 6th century, empire would be restored, but not from the Chinese clans of the south, but by semi-foreign clans in the north. Now, there's some commonalities to the four strands of aristocratic culture I'll be talking about. The first is that they're all aware that they're responding to the loss of empire. And that I think it's generally true that they turn away from trying to restore empire and turn their attention elsewhere. They look for something deeper, something that's hidden, something that's not apparent, as a better foundation for living a life. And if they can't find a foundation for social life, they look for a foundation for the self and for the realization of qualities in the self. They are interested, to use a very modern term, in discovering themselves. The problem is that if they search for some real foundation for culture, some real foundation for individual and social and political life, they reach no consensus about where to find it. For some, it comes from revelations. For some, it comes in the processes of heaven and earth, the process of nature itself. For some, it's something in us that we can find and realize. For others, it will be the teachings that come from the West, in this case, the West of Central Asia and India, Buddhism. But we will not talk about that till the next module.